Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be a not so fun video. Um, it's about how my grandfather died. Now, back in 2018, me, my mom, my sister, and my brother-in-law all moved to Houston, Texas. I'm going to say that was like right before things started getting really bad with his health. My grandparents ended up moving to Texas right after that, right around COVID lockdowns. So the summer of 2019. That's when my grandfather's health problems started getting really bad. He was losing his memories all the time and forgetting stuff. So my mom would go and spend time with my grandparents at their apartment because they live like down the road from where me, my sister, and my brother-in-law lived. I'm going to say after the lockdowns were lifted, me, my mom, and my grandparents moved to Florida. My aunts and uncles also moved to Florida like a couple of months after us. I'm gonna say around that summer in 2022, we found out that his kidneys were at like the worst levels. So he was basically he was gonna die within a few months. So my sister, my niece, and my brother-in-law, along with my stepsister and my cousins, all came out to visit him around the last week of August into September. That was pretty much like the last time they all got to see him. Pretty much normal. I have the notes right here, so if you keep looking down, it's just so I can remember everything. In January 2023, my youngest cousin visited one last time and got to see him before he died. Around around his birthday, February 20th, he started complaining that he couldn't breathe, and we thought it would be like panic attacks or something, but it was just his kidneys getting a lot worse and getting closer to failure. At that point, on March 1st, the doctors put him on hospice. It was in-home hospice because he was living with us at the time. So he was also put on an oxygen machine, which he did not like at all. He was always taking that off, and me, my mom, and my grandmother had to keep putting it back on him. March 4th was my birthday, which was like the last time we all were around him, and he was pretty much normal. So around March 25th, we had a random family gathering. My aunts and uncles came over, and supposedly, because I wasn't there, I don't know. My mom told me what happened later on. Supposedly, my grandfather was coming in from the garage, and I'm guessing he got dizzy or something and almost fell, but my mom was right there, so she made sure he didn't fall. Later that day, which was when everyone was over, we were all hanging out in the yard, and we all came inside. Some of us were eating and some of us were just hanging out, and he came in from the yard, before he came inside, he fell and injured his leg. That pretty much did it at this point. Now the problem was his leg was bothering him, so he cannot stand on his leg anymore, which is a problem. My mom and my grandmother both have rheumatoid arthritis, and I have like kind of health issues and we can't like support him if he has to get up. So my uncle had to come and take care of him at nights for like the entire week. Um, my uncle had to stay up all night with him, help him to the bathroom, and all of that. Um, so I'm gonna say on Wednesday the 29th, my uncle left for the day. I think it was like 2 or something, 3, and it was just me and my grandmother home. My mom went out on a date that day, so I didn't want to bother her, and I didn't want to bother my uncle because he had just gone home to sleep and all that. So my grandfather kept bothering us, me and my grandmother, saying he had to go to the bathroom, and we couldn't help him go to the bathroom. Like we couldn't help him up and all that. So he had to go in at like a cup thing, and he wouldn't go. Me and my grandmother tried for like an hour to get him to go, and he still wouldn't go. At that point, I had to call my mom to come and help us. She came back from her date, and we still couldn't get him to go. At this point, he also stopped eating solid foods. He ended up going to sleep instead of going to the bathroom, so I guess he just was uncomfortable. My mom said the rest of that night he was uncomfortable, waking up, trying to get out of bed, all of that. He also was saying that he was seeing colors and things in the corner of the room, which was weird to us, but I kind of had a feeling he was seeing stuff, like, people from heaven, or something along those lines. The next morning, his hospice doctors came to help take care of him for a few hours, and they said his heart rate was at 47. I don't know how that works, like 47 or something. At that point, the hospice nurse said to end all his medications and just give him morphine and tranquilizers, which pretty much made him sleep the whole time. On the 31st, there was still no change. Also the hospice nurses said that he was gonna go in like 2 or so days. At this point, it's the 31st, there was still no change. On April 1st, he was still with us, but barely responsive. At that point, the nurses came back to check on him and all that, and they said that he was fighting it. The family continued taking turns and taking care of him. And also, this was the weekend of WrestleMania 39. So I'm in and out helping as much as I could because, I can't really do much. I'm just helping when my aunts and uncles and my mom need something. On the 1st, during, the day of WrestleMania, the first part of WrestleMania, I had an anxiety attack. Now, usually when I have really bad anxiety attacks, it's very hard to explain. In the past, I had anxiety attacks, and the next day we would find out that someone in the family died. For example, my mom's cousin and my dad. And also another time was one of my neighbors. So I wanted to test this and see if it happened again with my grandfather, which it did. So all of that weekend, we were pretty much just waiting. Now the second is when he died. I didn't get much sleep the night before, like I said, because of the anxiety attacks. And the next morning, I was still having them. I went to take a nap, like maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And now usually my aunt or one of my aunts would go and check on him and all that. And they would put a little sponge on his lips to, give him water or whatever, because he wasn't swallowing anymore at this point. So they did that, but my aunt went back later on during my nap, and she went to give him the sponge and all that, and he did not react at all. She freaked out, called my uncle and my mom, and they just at this point realized that he's gone. So my mom woke me up, and we all said our goodbyes. My aunt and uncle called their husband and wife to come say goodbye to him, and then later that night they came and took him. And that's pretty much what happened. Now, the last thing I want to say is my cousins were supposed to come the following week to see him one last time. They never got to say goodbye. My youngest cousin said goodbye the month in January, like I said. But I'm so glad that they didn't come and see him, because it was miserable. It was like the worst thing I've ever experienced. With the two differences between my dad and my grandfather's death is my dad's death was sudden. My grandfather's, we had to sit here and watch him deteriorate for like a week. And at that point, I was just tired of it, and I just wanted him to go and not suffer anymore. He was like one of the best people I've ever known. He died on, I think, Passover on April 2nd, 2023. So from March 25th to April 2nd, that was the whole week he was deteriorating. That's pretty much it. I also have, I might try and put pictures and videos of him in this video, hopefully. I don't know if I'll be able to, but that's the end of this video. So hopefully the next video is more happier. I'll see you guys next time. Like and subscribe to my channel, because people are still not subscribed when it's saying that everyone's viewing my channel, which I don't understand. If you're watching my videos, why not just subscribe at this point? So bye, everyone. Talk to you later.
He's eating and she's watching him.
She's like, you people are weird.
So mad.
Just like she's gonna cry.
Davey, what's the matter?
See?
She's so like confused.
What, she doesn't pull on him. She doesn't put her hand in his mouth and grab his teeth out.
What?
Xavier.
Xavier.
What's wrong, Xavier?
What a beautiful voice she has. Look, there's your auntie. See?
Hurry up.
Go
Fix
to
your
auntie.
squeeze in there. Come on, go to auntie.
Look at what auntie.
Oh.
There.